You've been told cardio is the key to staying lean after 40, and while that's partly true, there's a side no one's warning you about. For men over 40, too much cardio doesn't just burn calories, it can burn away your hard-earned muscle. In this video, you'll learn why excess cardio works against your gains, and the 7 critical reasons it could be slowing down your progress or even reversing it. Before your next session, watch this. Your muscle depends on it.
Number 7. It spikes cortisol levels. The hormone that's supposed to help you survive, not sabotage your gains. When you're doing moderate cardio, fine. It helps with energy regulation and stress. But when you're hammering long sessions, day after day, especially as a man over 40, cortisol turns from a helpful ally into a muscle-eating villain. Here's how it works. Every time you push through a long cardio session, especially on an empty tank or with poor recovery, your body perceives it as stress. What does it do? Releases cortisol. Now, elevated cortisol in short bursts, not a problem. But when it stays chronically high, like with excessive cardio, it starts breaking down muscle tissue. Your body literally catabolizes muscle to help manage the perceived crisis. It pulls amino acids from your muscle to create glucose because it thinks you're in survival mode. So while you're patting yourself on the back for grinding out that 60-minute run, your quads and chest are quietly shrinking. And it gets worse. Chronically high cortisol also blunts testosterone. Yeah, the one hormone you're already fighting to hold on to after 40. So now you're in a double whammy situation. Your stress hormone is elevated and your anabolic hormone is crashing. No growth, poor recovery, and mood swings that make your teenager look balanced. Still not convinced? Let's layer in sleep. High cortisol wrecks your sleep quality. Poor sleep raises, guess what? Cortisol. It's a vicious loop. Now you're tired, under-recovered, inflamed, and wondering why your workouts feel like dragging a corpse through mud. The worst part? You won't notice it immediately. It creeps in. One week you're feeling great, then the next your strength drops. You're sore all the time. You're craving junk food. You're more anxious. And yeah, your muscle tone softening by the day.
Number 6. It interferes with strength training recovery. Cardio and strength training are not best friends. They're more like that awkward couple that pretends to get along, but behind closed doors, they're sabotaging each other. And for men over 40, this relationship gets even more toxic. Your body has limited recovery resources. Energy, nutrients, hormonal balance, sleep, all of it is part of the same pie. And if you're slicing off half that pie to fuel excessive cardio, guess what's getting shortchanged? Your strength gains. Let's say you lift hard, squats, deadlifts, presses, all the right stuff. Now you go hammer out 45 minutes of cardio right after, or you stack cardio-heavy days between your lifting days. What happens? Your body stays in a perpetual recovery deficit. Muscles don't repair fully, nervous system doesn't bounce back, strength progress stalled. It's not about cardio being evil, it's about poor timing and volume. Most guys think more is more, but more cardio plus less recovery equals fewer gains, especially at 40 plus, when your ability to recover is already taking a natural hit. And don't forget inflammation. Excessive cardio drives systemic inflammation, not the good kind from lifting that signals growth, but the chronic kind that eats away at your performance. You're fatigued, your joints ache, and suddenly your 225 bench feels like 315. That's not aging, that's mismanagement. Now let's really poke the bear. Ever wonder why you're always sore, always tired, and weirdly losing strength despite hitting all your sessions? It's not your program, it's your recovery being cannibalized by all that running, spinning, or high impact you keep adding just to lean out. You enjoying the video? Comment where you're watching from, hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, click the subscribe button. Want a video on a specific topic? Leave a $10 super thanks in the comment box and I'll create a sponsored video just for you and shout out your name here.
Number 5. It prioritizes endurance over hypertrophy. Your body's not confused. It adapts based on what you train it to do. And if you're spending hours each week running, cycling, or chasing your step count like it's a religion, your body will respond like an endurance machine, not a muscle-building one. Endurance training, by design, teaches your body to conserve energy, to become efficient. Sounds good, right? Until you realize that efficient also means getting rid of excess muscle mass that your body sees as unnecessary baggage. So, if your goal is hypertrophy, building muscle size, but your training screams marathon prep, you're sending mixed signals, and the body always follows the dominant one. Here's what's happening under the hood. Endurance workouts activate different muscle fibers, primarily type 1 or slow twitch. These are built for long, low-force output. Meanwhile, hypertrophy thrives on type 2 fibers, fast twitch, high force. Problem is, if all your energy is going to endurance work, you're barely tapping into those fast twitch fibers. You're conditioning your body to go longer, not grow bigger. And don't even get me started on fuel usage. During long cardio sessions, your body becomes increasingly efficient at burning fat and glucose. Great if you're trying to lean out, but here's the catch. The body will start looking at muscle as expendable tissue if it thinks it's dragging dead weight around, especially when calories are restricted. For men over 40, this becomes a serious issue. Why? Because we're already fighting the natural decline of testosterone and growth hormone. Those are your muscle-building allies. The last thing you want to do is reinforce a training pattern that encourages muscle loss. It's not that cardio is bad, it's that chronic cardio sends a message: preserve energy, reduce size, stay light. That's the opposite of what hypertrophy demands. Muscle growth requires overload, recovery, and an environment that says, hey, this tissue is essential. Number 4. It reduces testosterone production. Let's talk about the hormone that makes men, well, men. Testosterone isn't just about libido and mood. It's the foundation of muscle growth, strength, energy, and overall vitality. And here's the bad news. If you're over 40, your natural testosterone levels are already on the decline. Now add excessive cardio to that equation. You're throwing gasoline on the hormonal dumpster fire. See, your body doesn't just randomly tank testosterone. It does so in response to stress, nutrient demands, overtraining, and yes, chronic endurance work. When you hammer out long sessions of cardio several times a week, you're triggering hormonal shifts that prioritize endurance efficiency over anabolic dominance. Your body starts operating like a long-distance runner, lean, light, and low test. Not exactly the physique most men over 40 are chasing. Multiple studies have shown that high volumes of aerobic exercise, especially when not paired with adequate recovery or dietary support, can suppress testosterone production. It's not just theoretical, it's measurable, and it's happening quietly while you're sweating it out on the elliptical, thinking you're doing yourself a favor. One of the mechanisms? Increased cortisol. We talked about this earlier. Chronic cardio spikes stress hormones, and cortisol and testosterone have an inverse relationship. When one goes up, the other goes down. It's like a hormonal teeter-tatter. And trust me, you want testosterone sitting on the heavier side. But wait, it gets worse. Excessive cardio often leads to calorie deficits. You burn more, you eat less, and suddenly your body thinks it's in survival mode. In survival mode, reproduction and the hormones that support it gets downgraded. Why make testosterone when the body thinks you're stranded in the wilderness? This hormonal suppression doesn't just kill gains, it kills motivation. Lower testosterone means lower drive, less aggression in your lifts, slower recovery, less energy, and more fat retention. And then people wonder why they're doing everything right but still look flat and feel drained.
Number 3. It increases appetite and muscle loss risk during a cut. Cardio during a cut can be your best friend or your worst enemy. Done right, it helps strip off fat while keeping muscle intact. Done wrong, and most guys do it wrong, it turns into a hunger-inducing, muscle-burning mess that leaves you looking flat, skinny fat, and frustrated. Here's what most guys over 40 get wrong. They crank up cardio thinking more movement equals more fat loss. But what they forget is that cardio spikes appetite, big time. Your body's natural response to prolonged energy expenditure is to scream, "Feed me." And unless your diet is locked in and protein is high, guess what happens next? You eat more, often way more than you burned. Even worse, that hunger doesn't always go towards steak and eggs. It leads to impulse snacking, sugar cravings, and late-night raids on the pantry. So instead of creating a sustainable calorie deficit, you end up on a blood sugar roller coaster, overeating just enough to cancel out the cardio and stall fat loss. And now for the real gut punch. Excessive cardio during a cut without proper resistance training and recovery puts your muscle tissue on the chopping block. Why? Because when your body's low on glycogen and you keep hammering it with endurance work, it starts breaking down muscle for energy. Not fat, muscle. This is called muscle catabolism, and it's every man's nightmare. You lose that hard-earned size, your shape disappears, and you start looking soft even though the scale is going down. You're not getting leaner, just smaller, and not in a good way. Men over 40 are especially vulnerable here. Your natural anabolic hormones are already lower, your recovery is slower, and your protein synthesis isn't as efficient. So if you think you can cardio your way to a shredded physique without strategic lifting and eating, think again. The fix? Make strength training your foundation during a cut. Lift heavy, or at least heavy relative to your ability. Hit all major muscle groups and prioritize progressive overload even while in a deficit. Cardio should be short, efficient, and used as a supplement, not the main event.
Number 2, it can lead to overtraining syndrome. Let's talk about the dirty little secret no one tells cardio junkies. More isn't always better. Especially for men over 40, more cardio can land you in a place far worse than being tired. Overtraining syndrome. And no, that's not just a buzzword. It's a real physiological crash that can tank your performance, kill your motivation, and wipe out your hard-earned muscle. See, your body thrives on stress, but only in doses it can recover from. Every workout is a stressor. Resistance training, cardio, even intense mobility work. When you stack too many of those sessions without recovery, you're digging a hole your body can't climb out of. The symptoms sneak up on you. First, it's lingering soreness. Then your strength starts to dip. Sleep becomes trash. You're dragging through workouts that used to feel easy. And mentally, you lose the fire. Even the gym starts to feel like a chore. Sound familiar? That's not a plateau. That's your nervous system begging for a break. Now mix in age. At 40 plus, your recovery window isn't what it used to be. Testosterone is lower, inflammation takes longer to resolve, and soft tissue heals slower. That high-volume cardio program you crushed in your 20s, it's now a fast track to burnout if you're not being strategic. Most guys think they're being lazy when they're actually overtrained, so they double down. More sessions, more cardio, more sweat. But their body, it's waving a white flag while they're still chasing the pump.
Number 1, it delays or reverses muscle gains. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. If you're crushing cardio daily and wondering why your muscles aren't growing, or worse, shrinking, this might sting. Too much cardio doesn't just slow down your gains, it can reverse them. Here's why. Muscle growth requires a very specific environment, one where your body feels safe, fueled, and challenged through resistance training. But when you flood that environment with excessive cardio, your body shifts into a different mode. It stops prioritizing strength and size and starts optimizing for endurance and efficiency. And let me be blunt, efficiency is not your friend if you're trying to build muscle. Efficiency means your body wants to do more with less. Less weight, less tissue, less size. It's survival mode dressed up in running shoes. Your body adapts based on what you tell it. If you tell it, we need to move long distances every day, it trims the fat. Sounds great, right? Until it starts trimming muscle too. Why carry around all that extra bulk when it just makes running harder? That's how your body thinks. Even if you're still lifting, if your cardio is too frequent or too intense, especially without enough recovery or calories, you're telling your body to split resources. And guess what usually loses? Muscle. Every time. This is especially true for men over 40. At this stage, you're already fighting a hormonal battle. Testosterone is lower. Recovery is slower. Muscle protein synthesis isn't firing like it used to. So if you're not actively supporting muscle growth through smart training, proper sleep, and adequate nutrition, it doesn't just stall, it regresses. Want a video on a specific topic? Leave a $10 super thanks in the comment box, and I'll create a sponsored video just for you and shout out your name here. You like the video? Leave your comment. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel yet, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video.